Hello, student. I hope you all are doing well and good and backing your immune system well in fight of the current situation of COVID-19. To introduce myself, I am your maths teacher Gitanjali Paigude, welcoming you all to our new academic session but in a virtual manner. Online learning is the education that takes place over the internet, so we are also a part of like this teaching learning process. So let us begin. What is a maths? M. Miracle of nature. A. Art of arithmetic. T. Tools of knowledge. H. Habit of problem solving. S. Science of learning. Next, we are going to see that maths is all around us. We can see in our surrounding also. Everywhere we need a maths. So, maths is all around us. Whether you like mathematics or not, are even very good in it, maths is all around us all the time. When you are at the department store, balancing your checkbook, or doing your tax, mathematics is a necessary skill. It can even improve your sports games. Many people believe that maths talent to be something that is inherited or are born with. Actually, ability in maths only gets you so far. Hard work and good study habits are far more valuable. So, we can see one example maths is around us. Suppose if you want to buy 1 kg of potato. So, here 1 kg of potato we have to give the 30 rupees. So if you have to count first 30 rupees. So here maths is required for the counting. Then only we can give 30 rupees properly to the shopkeeper. So like this for the domestic purpose all whatever the surrounding things are there, the maths is essential and it is a good skill for all. Now see the definition of mathematics. The mathematics is the study of measurements, properties and relationships of quantities and sets using numbers and symbols. Mathematics is very important and interesting subject and everyone needs a basic knowledge of mathematics to lead a life in a socio-economic world. Mathematics subject is like a ocean where different lots many rivers are joined as like lot many branches in mathematics. There are 5 main branches of mathematics. The branches of mathematics are as follows. So let us see what are the branches. First, arithmetic. Arithmetic is the basically first branch of mathematics. It deals with numbers and basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division between them. So we can here add, subtract, multiply or divide any numbers given. So arithmetic is the first basic branch for the mathematics. Next, that is algebra. It is a kind of arithmetic where we can use unknown quantities along with numbers. These unknown quantities are represented by letters of English alphabets such as A, X, Z, Y or symbols. The use of symbols generalize the formulas and rules. In this algebra, we can put any alphabets as a variable for the unknown number, and we can perform here operations addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we are going to find out the unknown number by the given condition. So in this algebra branch, for unknown quantities it is easily find out. Like this, in this topic are linear equations in two variable, one variable, quadratic equation, factorization. Like these terms are included in algebra. Next, that is geometry. Geometry, it deals with shapes and sizes of figures and their properties. The basic elements of geometry are points, lines, angles, surface and solid. The geometrical part is very important in our life. So, for the shapes, we required geometry. Suppose we want to construct a building. Here also we are going to use the geometrical concepts. So in this we are going to learn such types of geometrical concepts in the geometrical branch. Next we are going to see that trigonometry. This part is included directly for the 10th standard, but it is also the one branch of mathematics. What is a trigonometry? Trigonometry word is the combination of three words like this. Tri means triangle, three, gono means sides, and metry means measures. Actually, the trigonometry word is derived from the two Greek letters trigon, meaning is a triangle, and metron, meaning is a measure. It is the study of relationship of triangle. Actually, the trigonometry functions are on the basis of right angle triangle. By using this functions, we can measure the height and distance. Suppose one boy is standing on the road and he is looking at the top of the building, and he want to find out how much distance between his eyes and the top of the building. So by using the trigonometric functions, he can easily find out the distance. Like this, we can see there are a lot of tall buildings. Directly we cannot measure by using the tapes. So we can use the trigonometric functions to measure the height of buildings. Like this, applications are there included in the trigonometric branch. Next, we are going to see that fifth, that is statistics and probability. It concerns with the laws governing random events, including the collection, analysis, interpretation, and the display of numerical data. Suppose we are going to gather the information. The information is gathered as a data, and we can represent it in the pictorial form or graphical form. We can use the statistics methods to represent it. Probability also the possibility. So it also needed, and it is a one kind of branch. So next we are going to see that the calculus. Calculus is mainly deals with the concepts of limits, derivatives and integral of various functions. So this topic is included in the higher studies. Now we are going to see that the objectives of mathematics: developed mastery of basic algebraic skill, develop the ability to think, analyze the articulate logically, develop an interest in students to study mathematics as a discipline, fill the flow of reason while proving the result or solving problem, acquire knowledge and understanding, particularly by way of motivation and visualization of basic concepts, terms, principles, and symbols, and underlying processes and skills. Other than this, we can see the more objectives of teaching mathematics at the secondary stage, such as consolidate the mathematical knowledge and skills acquired at the upper primary stage, then to develop the awareness of the need of national integration, protection of environment, observance of small family norms, removal of social barriers, elimination of gender bias, then to develop the reverence and respect towards the great mathematicians for their contribution to the field of mathematics, to develop the interest in the subject by participating in related competitions. Then we can say that to develop the interest in mathematics as a problem solving tool in various fields for its beautiful structure and patterns. So these are the objectives of teaching mathematics. Now, course structure. For the 9th standard syllabus, there are basically 15 lessons. The 15 lessons are converted into the 6 units. Unit 1, number system. Unit 2, algebra. Unit 3, coordinate geometry. Unit 4, geometry. Unit 5, mensuration. Unit 6, statistic and probability. The weightage for each unit is given here. Unit 1, 8 marks. Unit 2, 17 marks. Unit 3, 4 marks. Unit 4, 28 marks. Unit 5, 13 marks. Unit 6, 10 marks. So we see now which lessons are included in each unit. First unit, number system. First lesson, lesson number 1, number system will be included here as a unit 1 and it carries 8 marks. Next, that is the algebra. Algebra contain 2 lessons. Second lesson, polynomial, and fourth lesson, linear pair in 2 variable. So these 2 lessons will be included in algebra with weightage 17 marks. Third unit, that is coordinate geometry. It includes only one lesson, lesson number 3, coordinate geometry, and weightage for this unit is 4 marks. Next, that is the geometry. Within this geometry unit, there are total 7 lessons are there. That's why here weightage is also more, that is 28. Lesson number 5, Introduction to the Euclid's Geometry. Lesson number 6, Lines and Angles. Lesson number 7, Triangles. Lesson number 8, Quadrilateral. Lesson number 9, Areas of Parallelogram and Triangle. Lesson number 10, Circle. And lesson number 11, Construction. So these lessons are included in geometry. Next unit, that is the mensuration. It contains 2 lessons. One lesson, that is lesson number 12, Heron's formula, and lesson number 13, surface area and volume. So totally for unit 5 there are 2 lessons and weightage for this lessons is 13 marks. And last units, that is the statistic and probability. It includes 2 lessons, lesson number 14 and lesson number 15. Lesson number 14, that is statistic, and lesson number 15, that is probability. The total weightage for this unit is 10 marks. Like this, your syllabus is derived in the 6 units. Now see, next, paper pattern. The paper pattern is same as 10th standard board exam paper. The 10th standard board paper is designed according to that paper. Your 9th standard paper also designed. Section A, 20 marks. Within this section, 1 to 10 questions are MCQs. 11 to 15 questions are FIB. 16 to 20 questions are answer the following. Each question will carry 1 mark. It means that section A includes 20 questions from question number 1 to question number 20, and each question will carry 1 mark. Next, that is the section B. Section B, total weightage is 12 marks. So, section B contains 6 questions, question number 21 to question number 26. Solve, and each question will carry 2 marks. So here we have to solve the 6 questions. Each will carry 2 marks. Next, that is section C. Section C, total weightage will be 24 marks and questions 27 to 34 are coming in the section C. There are total 8 questions. Each questions will carry 3 marks. Next, that is section D. Section D also having same weightage, that is 24 marks, but here the number of questions are 6 only. The section D is difficulty level. Here the question number 35 to question number 40, total 6 questions will be there. Each will carry the 4 marks. So like this, the paper pattern is designed in 4 sections, section A, B, C and D, and we discuss now the how many questions will come in section A, B, C, D. Now see, we are going to see the total marks. So like this, total 80 marks will be covered within section A, B, C, D. We have to solve the paper in 3 hours. Now we are going to see the purpose of assessment. Why we are going to assist? What is the reason behind the assessment? So let us see what is the purpose of assessment. First, to determine the achievement level and progress of student, to obtain data for diagnostic purpose, to identify interest of the student, to identify interest of gifted student, to determine the self concepts, to improve teaching learning techniques. So for this purpose, we are going to assist. Now we are going to see the internal assessment and design of question paper. Before going to this topic, I am going to tell you your paper, a written paper, it is of 80 marks and 20 marks are internal. These 20 marks are assessed according to the given points. So here I am going to discuss how the internal assessment is going on. First, the pen paper test carries 5 marks. It means that in whole academic year we are conducting the unit test quarterly, then half yearly, and then pre-annual exams. Out of these three exams, we are going to consider the marks obtained, maximum marks obtained. Best two we are going to select, and out of them we are going to average and convert it into the 5 marks. Next, that is a multiple assessment. In whole academic year, we are going to assist multiple. So first we are going to see the self assessment, and second one is the group assessment. We are going to make the group discussion, or individual the students are going to describe the topics. We are going to observe and we are going to make a chart accordingly. We are going to average these marks into the 5 for the multiple assessment. Then next, portfolio. Portfolio is the solving the question banks. It will carry the 5 marks. And last, that is a lab practical. We are going to conduct the practicals throughout the years. So the student must complete their practical book. So that practical book is very essential for the 5 marks. So like this, 20 marks total are completely done for the internal assessment. Now see the question paper design. Again here the question paper is designed according to the objectives. The main objectives, there are 4 main objectives, that is the knowledge, understanding, application and evaluating. So on the basis of these 4 objectives, the question paper is designed. So I am going to explain one by one. The first, that is the remembering. Remembering it nothing but here the knowledge based questions are very short answers of 1 marks. There are total 6 questions. Short answers of 2 marks. 2 questions are there on the base of knowledge objective. Short answers 3 marks. There are 2 questions. Long answers 4 marks. 1 question will be there on the basis of knowledge objective. So total 20 marks for the knowledge objective. Understanding Understanding very short answers, 1 mark. 6 questions will be there. 1 questions for short answer, 2 marks. Then short answers, 3 marks question, there is only 1 question. Long answers of 4 marks, there are 3 questions of understanding objective. So here the total marks covered 23 for the understanding objective. Then next, application, that is applying, how students are going to apply their knowledge. So on this objective, very short answers, 1 marks, there are 5 questions. 2 questions of short answers, 2 marks type. 2 questions short answers of 3 marks each, and 1 questions of long answer of 4 marks. Like this, for the application objective, total 19 marks will be there. And last, that is the analysis and evaluating. It is a last objective, and according to this, the 3 marks, 3 questions of very short answers carrying 1 mark, 1 question of short answers, 2 marks, 3 questions of short answers of 3 marks each, 1 question of long answer of 4 marks each. Totally 18 marks for the evaluating objective. So like this, total 80 marks paper will be covered. Here I am giving the percentage also. Knowledge 25%, understanding 29%, application 24%, and evaluating, that is 22%. So totally 100% will be there. Paper is designed according to these 4 objectives. Next, we are going to see that time management for section wise. Sometimes what happens, students are not going to cover their paper within time. They are not habitual to cover the paper within the time. Or sometimes what happened, they are not understanding which question or which section we can solve first, which questions we know. So they are going to confuse. So before this, I am going to tell you that how to manage your time while writing the question paper. Section D is the difficulty level question, and each question will carry the 4 marks. There are 6 questions are there. The questions are very lengthy. So first we can give the time for section D. Maximum 6 to 8 minutes we have to give per question. So like this, the section D carries 24 marks. So within 6 to 8 minutes per question, we can finish the section D's question. Section C, total number of questions are 8. Maximum time we have to give for one question, that is 5 to 6 minutes. 5 to 6 minutes, within 5 to 6 minutes we have to complete at least one question from section C. And total marks for section C is 24. Section B, there are total 6 questions. Time per question is 2 to 3 minutes. It means we have to solve one question from section B at least within 2 to 3 minutes. The total marks for section B is 12. And last, that is section A. It contains 20 questions, and one question will give the time 1 to 3 minutes maximum, not more than 3 minutes. So, like this, if you solve, you do the practice according to the time, your time management will work out and you can solve the whole paper within time. So, time management is most essential while writing the paper. Next, we are going to see how to do math study. Before going to this topic, I am going to explain you some difficulties arise in maths. When you are doing math study, there are some difficulties arise. Basically, first, phobia. The students they have fear. So, this one is most difficulty while solving the maths problem. Second one, that is a concept. The lack of concepts, they are not able to solve the maths problem. So, the students have to remove this lacking of concept. Third, practice. They are not doing practice properly at home and hence they can find the difficulty in maths. More practice is very essential while doing math study. Fifth, dry, and see next, that is a visualization. So like this, basic difficulties we see: phobia, concept, practice, dry, and visualization. So apart from these difficulties, how to do math study, I am going to explain here. See, first we have to concentrate on your basic terms and functions. Learn all formulas. Give more time for practicing. Solve more number of sums and say of same kind. It means that we have to solve the maximum number of sums of same kind. Always first understand and then solve the problem. First you have to understand the problem, how the teacher explain, how the steps comes, which steps are essential. So you are going to understand first and then only you have to solve the problem. Next, do not learn any problem. If you are in trouble and you are learning, then it is not possible to learn. Focus on your time management also. Time management already we discussed. So within time you have to solve the maximum sums. Always solve easier section first. First we have to read the question and you have to check which is easier. So first go through the easiest section sums. Next we are going to see solve all the exercise problems of NCERT books. Learn all the formulas. Maximum sums we have to solve from the textbook. We are not seeing at least which are the solved examples included in our textbook. So we have to go through it and solve the solved problem also. Study in group. You are going to make your friend groups and make study schedule. Explain to others. Solve previous year paper or sample papers. You have to search on net. You will get the maximum questions will be there. Your teachers are also provided you the maximum worksheets, assignments. So from this you can solve the maximum sums. Take breaks in interval. means you are not going to study 2-3 hours continuously one subject. You can break in intervals. You can take the break in intervals. Do the revision. Whatever the topics are covered in the school, you have to revise at home. It will be very helpful for your understanding. And take the proper rest. That is also very important. If your health is proper, then only you are able to do the study. So, proper rest is very essential. Now see the skills which are enhanced by learning maths. First, arithmetic computations. Second, problem solving. Third, logical and critical thinking. Fourth, estimation and spatial thinking. And last, that is the creative thinking. So these skills we can enhance by learning maths. Thank you.